Maine wrestling can be good and is good.
That original main scene wasn't all that it was supposed to be. Like, we actually really like that. That's not a throwaway thing. Let's keep on going with that. And so we just made a whole entire thing out of it.
We were eager. We were capable.
I'm going to do something that I want to do, so it's just my name. I'm just going to be me.
Lee saw something in us.
Real, recognize real.
Be the biggest shitbags that we can be.
Consistency matters too. Limitless has been that one consistent independent promotion in the state of Maine.
We've had actually quite a few good matches where we haven't been in each other's corners.
We were able to just kind of let loose and have some fun. We made sure that we wanted to do it right. The three best friends came to blows.
That kind of felt like a necessity. If we were ever going to reinvent ourselves, now would be the perfect time to do it. If not the last time, one of the very last times ever. It's very bittersweet, but you know, I had to walk away. You know, I had to get out of there.
Call it how I see it, straight talk, no disguise. So the slang dripping, got the truth in my eyes. Might like gavel, every word, lay it down. Coach C in the booth, turn the game all around. Yeah, it's Coach C, he the best for business. It's Coach C, he the best for business. Yeah, I'm sharp as attack when I call the play-by-play. Every dog got his day, and I make the crowd stay. It's every week we go live on a Wednesday. Dressing so sharp, that's the reason why your friends stay. The youngest in the game to do it, best for business. Coach C is the truth and everybody gonna witness. Love entertainment, you swear it's your destiny. Link with Coach C, we can talk about your legacy. It's Coach C, he the best for business. It's Coach C, he the best for business.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Best for Business. I have goosebumps with this one. Maine State Posse, MSP, thank you for joining me, but seriously, thank you guys for everything.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, happy to be here.
Same.
It's crazy. Like I was saying, like I remember Aggro when I was younger buying like a magazine from Maine off you just because like supporting you. I have the drawings and everything. So seriously, thank you for the impact that you've had on me, all of you.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
The drawings is really what, like, that's what I connect with you. You know,
Yeah.
obviously, like, you're a whole ass man now. You know, you're 21, which is crazy. But we all remember that little sixth grader with these little cute drawings, you know, handing them out to all the wrestlers, and you gave some to us. And those might still be, they probably are still kicking around somewhere. I don't know where,
Somewhere.
but we got them somewhere. At
I
one
have
of our
all
One of the
mine
old
signed
merch
and everything
covers.
still.
Yeah.
So I'm curious when you talk to pro wrestling. So before everything, Alexander Lee, you come into the business before everyone. So originally, what
Yeah.
is it about wrestling for you that makes you interested at first?
I was a childhood fan, and there was a school that popped up near me. I said, screw it, I'm going to try it. Right around 17, 18. And from there, I went and got properly trained by Brutal Bob after that, and learned how that original main scene wasn't all that it was supposed to be. So I went from there and just kept on going. I really enjoyed the travel, the ability to kind of like do something a little different than other than working 9 to 5 and just having a different type of lifestyle. Yes.
And then how did Alexander Lee's accomplish so much? But originally, how do you come up with Scott Vegas? And Scott Vegas, you've had a pretty interesting career. You've did a lot in pro wrestling.
So I didn't come up with Scott Vegas like back when I started. You were given a gimmick name, so on and so forth. So they called me Scotty Vegas. No idea why. And it didn't work for me. I really didn't like it, but I used it because that's what I was given until like I think stopped about 8 years in because I was really just disheartened, dejected kind of. And when I started back up would be right about the inception of Limitless. I was like, I'm ditching the name. I'm going to do something that I want to do. So it's just my name. I'm just going to be me, amped up to 11.
Mhm.
So.
And then originally, I think it's maybe when you're Scott Vegas. How does the idea come from Maine State Posse? Because before this, you come up with Maine State Posse originally, correct?
No, so
Okay.
Maine State Posse was there was a promotion, NCW, Northeast Championship Wrestling, run by JC Marks. He's had other people from Maine before, and he always has kind of like was like a throwaway thing of Maine State Posse. But it was Alex Chamberlain and I that took that, and we were like, we actually really like that. That's not a throwaway thing. Let's keep on going with that. And so we just made a whole entire thing out of it. And then like from there, it'd be because I always kept on working with NCW. Is like anytime I would bring people from Maine, it'd be kind of like they got introduced through the faction that way. It was a really easy way to kind of get. It'd be a lot of people in like Eric Johnson's school or any other of the Tony Atlas's school. Like a good way for them to get introduced to like working other places with other from people from other schools and stuff. And it's a nice like easy way to be like, we're from Maine, screw everybody else, like kind of idea. So it's just been like something I kind of capitalized on,
Wow.
made it my own a little bit.
Yeah. So during that time, especially a little after, who comes in next? Is it Afro or Daphne?
Uh,
Same
before
time.
them, there's several members before them. There was my cousin Johnny Primer. He was a Maine State Posse guy for a hot minute. There's a couple others that did like one or two shows. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe I can't remember. Who came in? Which one of y'all came in first? I think y'all came in the first together, right?
Yeah, it was
I
same
think
time.
the conversation happened, and
Yeah.
you had mentioned that was like the running gimmick for
Yeah.
this company called NCW in Massachusetts.
And I think
Yeah.
you were making your return down there,
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
yes, that's what it was.
and you brought us with you because you're
Yeah.
wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Because we were brand new. I mean, we were maybe 1 year in, maybe. I might even be pushing it. I think maybe even a little under. But like we were kind of like the two. We're kind of like, I don't know, top of the class for lack of a better term for like the IWE school, in our area up here. And we were eager, we were capable, and Lee saw something in us at the time, and we hopped in the car and never really looked back.
Wow. So I gotta ask you, what was it about the chemistry with you three? Because we talk about tag teams and groups in pro wrestling. Some are on and off, but you guys went for so long, different companies. What was it about the chemistry? Did you always have it? Was it natural for you guys?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is a real recognized real concept. Like even when we first broke in, personally for me, Lee was like the cool dude on the block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So-
second that.
Having an opportunity to work with him at any capacity, like it wasn't a matter of like I want to do this. It was if he asked me to do something, then
Right.
I'm gonna do it. So I think already having that from the jump and then it actually coming to fruition, it was just one of those like felt like destiny type deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I remember early on, like I think it actually might have been my very first training session and Aggro's second. Like Lee had a promo, it was like a pull apart situation, like backstage that we were filming, and we were in the pile of like pulling them apart and whatnot, and we were like marking out about that, just even being included in something small like that. So
We were so stoked.
yeah, like we watched it back multiple times and everything's so funny looking back on it now. But I think also just like we're legitimately friends, and we bond over music and life values, and at the end of the day, like out of wrestling, like they're my brothers and I'm their sister, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Daphne, I gotta ask you, what was the inspiration behind DangerKid originally?
So I really liked this band. I needed something new, and there was this band called Danger Kids, and I was just super into them at the time. They were doing some different things, and I just really liked them. And I don't know, the ideas just kind of started flowing there. Kind of the idea was like not so much like, oh, I'm gonna do all this crazy shit, even though I did do some wild stuff back then. But the idea for the character is kind of always like that feeling like that you get when you're like backed up in a corner, like when you're in danger, like the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up, like you're in that constant state of like on the defense, and like almost like almost paranoia, a little bit. That was kind of the original like early ideas.
Wow. And then when you mentioned original ideas, when MSP you guys joined, what is like the inspiration or what are you guys going for originally? Because to me, still like the gear stuck out, everything about it, the chemistry in general. But what were you going for when it comes to MSP originally?
I mean, Lee, do you wanna field this to start, and then we can kind of ride the coattails.
Yes. Yeah, just originally it was just stuff that stood out. I would scream Maine or New England in general, like especially northern New England. Just from looking at us without even having to read the word Maine or anything. So flannel, like a lot of flannel, a lot of just like the buoy, obviously, like the idea of the fishing industry and all that kind of stuff.
The
And
axe at
then
one point.
yeah. Huh?
I had that axe at one point too,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Um,
once Daphne and Aggro joined in, they just made it their own thing, and then they took it to the next level of it.
yeah, we kind of like I think originally like when you were going back to NCW and we were joining you for the first time, it really was just like be the biggest shitbags that we can be and just cause complete chaos.
Mhm.
Like in any fucking way that we can. Like I remember like cutting referee Red Rocher's hair. I remember like beating down people with the buoy numerous times. It really was just like everything's okay here, and we don't like that. So let's do everything that we can to make sure that that is not continuing as is.
Wow. For you guys, it might be different answers. For everything you did in wrestling, what would you consider Maine State Posse's like first big opportunity when it came to wrestling? Whether it's somebody you wrestle for or a company in general, what would you consider it?
Oh man,
CHIKARA?
would we say it was CHIKARA?
Yeah,
CHIKARA?
I
That's
was
the
gonna
first. That's the
say,
first thing that's coming to mind. Is like the first thing where we were like, okay, this is a
yeah,
deal. Like this is a
I was gonna
thing.
say Chikara or CZW.
Yeah, both of those.
Those
Those
were
were
a
Yeah.
like
pretty big deal at
relatively
the
back to
time
back,
too.
weren't they?
Yeah, they were around the same time. I don't know which one
Yeah.
happened first, but it was
CHIKARA.
I want to
I
say
think
like
CHIKARA happened
2019.
first for sure.
How
Yeah.
did Chikara happen?
I
Yeah.
think it was one of those unique situations where CHIKARA was going to be running in Maine, and
Biddeford?
yes,
Yeah, I think so. Biddeford sounds right.
Yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
and so they basically wanted to use some solid Maine talent. So we were just kind of the ones at the time.
Yeah.
So it just
I
like they needed a trio, and we were a active
And,
trio at the time. So it
yeah,
just
we
and
kind of
fit the
Jeremy
worked.
bill
Leary
for what
was
they
like,
needed.
yeah, wasn't Jeremy Leary also like a regular mainstay of CHIKARA, and kind of that's who we ended up working was him
Yeah.
and
I
some
think
other
he stuck
people.
his neck out for us. If
Yeah.
I would say Jeremy Leary definitely helped us get in the door there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So one of the companies obviously that you guys are known for is Limitless Wrestling. But I gotta ask you from your perspective, what is so special about Limitless Wrestling? Because you talk about all these indies that you guys have wrestled for, some come and go, but Limitless is still killing it at this level too after all these years. To
Uh-huh.
you, for people who've been at Limitless time and time again, what's so special about it, you'd say?
Dedication. Hands up. Like you've been a fan and you've decided to dedicate yourself to this craft, and you're 21 now. Randy Carver is just the same. He was a fan of all of us in IWE way back in the day when he was just a kid, and he saw that Maine wrestling could be like specifically could be better. And when he came of age, he's like, I'm gonna do this. I know how to do this. He put himself into the fold. Like he started off as a ring announcer and just seeing how behind the scenes stuff went, and then he figured out he could do this, and he wanted to really make it what it could be, and has not stopped ever since. He just kept on going.
I think it's just like that passion and like built from the ground up. I mean, we just had a show Friday, Bissell Brothers Bash, and there was like, I didn't get a number, but it was well over 1,000, maybe like 1,300 people in attendance.
It looked
Uh,
ridiculous.
it was crazy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So every show, especially lately, is just kind of like up in the ante, and like I don't know, he just does it right. He treats the talent really well, treats the fans really well, just runs a really solid, good business, and like I don't know, the fans there too help make it what it is. And like they're just as passionate as anywhere else. Like I'd put them up against any other fan base in the world.
Mhm.
Wow.
I mean, I think consistency matters too. Like
Sure.
Limitless over the past 10 years has been that one constant and consistent company over that entire span of time. Like this rings true for any local indie company in any state, really. Like you see the local indies come, you see them go. Some stay around for a cup of coffee, some for few years, and then they
Fall off.
they fall apart, they go away, whatever the case may be. And Limitless has been that one consistent independent promotion in the state of Maine that has just kind of up to this point always been there, and we've just been able to continue to grow over the years into what it is now.
Wow. Is there a favorite Limitless match when it comes to tag or trios to you guys that stands out?
Oh man. Oh man. Favorite.
That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind for me immediately is the one that the three of us and Brandon Kirk had at the first Expo show.
Mhm.
That one, because that was our biggest show for Limitless to date.
Yeah.
It was a really special show. It was a really special match that we put a lot into for like the build up and everything. And we just went out there and actually killed each other.
Mhm.
So that one, and even with Lee being on the other side of the ring for that one, I mean, we've had actually quite a few good matches where we haven't been in each other's corners. So that's the one that really like sticks out for me. But there's so many.
That one and probably the first like early Limitless, or was it? Yeah, I think it was Limitless. The Maine State Posse versus like Owen Brody and B Tatum and
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
The
that
triple,
that Let's
the
Wrestle,
triple
actually?
suplex on the floor. Yeah.
I think that was Let's
Yeah.
Wrestle.
It was
Was it
Let's
Let's
Wrestle.
Wrestle? Oh,
I think
okay.
that was
Was
yeah, I think
it?
that was early Let's Wrestle, like one of the first
Was
Let's
it?
Wrestle shows. Like
Oh man. Well,
I could be wrong, but I don't know. I do
Hmm.
remember the match though. It was
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
Aggro, what about you? What sticks out for MSP when it comes to Limitless, you think?
and this is only because it was recently hosted. Like, I loved our match against Shook Crew, Bobby Orlando, Bryce Donovan, Max
Good
Caster.
one.
Like, it was just one of those matches where we were able to just kind of let loose and have some fun with it too. Like, some of my like couple of my favorite moments, like when I just hit the big chop on Bryce Donovan and he just did the wailing, like guttural screaming, but then also like Lee and Bobby Jr. having a standoff and then like coming to blows and then everybody just like exploding back. Like,
So funny.
absolute cinema. Just one
So
of the
funny.
funnest things that I personally feel we have done in a match.
What
And we
was your
just
original reaction seeing that diss track they did Back to the Yard?
my
honestly,
original
It
reaction.
hurt. It hurt.
honestly, it hurt because we knew that even if we had done any like backyard stuff, like
Which we
as
didn't.
teenagers, and like who didn't, you know what I mean? But at that point in time, like being a backyard wrestler was something that we hadn't done for many, many, many years, and
I never did.
okay, listen, I had never done it to the point where I filmed it, but I definitely dragged mattresses outside to the backyard and had plenty of matches with friends. But like once we got into pro wrestling, like we made sure that we wanted to do it right. That was one of the biggest things for us, was once we felt like we had gotten all of the training that we possibly could out of where we were, we immediately hopped on the road and tried to catch on any seminars that we could, like any school that would let us just kind of come in for a day or just a few hours. Like, that was our bag. And then when that diss track came out, we're like, that is literally not what we're doing.
Wow.
But like the reputation of like Maine wrestling and like kind of how bad it was, especially like still early on in Limitless, because we hadn't kind of really like brought the legitimacy of the state up to par yet. I don't know, it just kind of hit a little close to home.
Was
kinda-
there a moment you think that
It pissed me
changed
off.
that reputation about Maine wrestling, you think?
I think once we started doing the drives and actually giving everywhere else a reason to kind of understand that that isn't what Maine wrestling was anymore. Like, and I don't want to say that there weren't people before us that definitely kind of made that not the case, but I think in our era, so to speak, we're the ones that kind of drove that fact home that Maine wrestling can be good and is good.
Yeah. When we talk New England, especially for you guys, one of the companies you accomplished a lot, is there a match or a moment or a memory that stands out from your time in chaotic wrestling?
Probably the first time that Daphne and I won the tag straps. Like it was one of those things. Like we already had a very great deal of respect for Anthony Green, and I don't want to say that he was like the one that gave us the opportunities, but he definitely had a hand in us getting the opportunities that we did when we were at Chaotic. And like that's something that still rings true today. Like we still always look to him for advice, feedback, anything. I know I definitely call him dad. It's weird because I'm older than he is,
We have a
but
lot of wrestling dads for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think also just like Chase Del Monte saw something in us. He kind of always has. And our very first match in Chaotic was against the Logan brothers.
What a first match.
We went, toe to toe with them, hung with them, had an awesome match, and that was behind the scenes. I really think that was kind of like a test for us. And then our second match is when we won the tag titles, which
Wow.
we shouldn't have even been in Chaotic to begin with. You didn't get into Chaotic back then, unless you were a part of the school.
You had to
You
be
know what I mean?
homegrown, yeah.
You definitely didn't get in there if you were from Maine. Like, you know what I mean? It just didn't happen.
I
It
still
wasn't
haven't.
supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't I just it's still it blows my mind that it ever did. And we had quite the careers there.
Yeah, I told right before I was interviewing this, Trigger the OG, and he spoke extremely highly of Wrestling MSP.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
Trigger.
So I'm curious, you talk about everything you did in part of Maine State Posse. First, when does the idea come for Alexander Lee to step away from Maine State Posse and turn on them come in?
Yeah,
When
Lee.
did it?
Let's do it.
Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Felt like I was being passed by, man. Was being left in the shadows in the dust. So
Yeah.
I said, fuck that.
What is the triple threat that you guys had at Limitless mean to you guys?
That was a fun one too.
That was a fun one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was really the first opportunity for us and everybody watching to see what happened when three best friends came to blows.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we put everything that we could into that match because we knew that it wasn't something that was going to be happening often. And when was the next time that we were all going to have the opportunity to wrestle each other? So we just went in, and that was definitely one of my favorite matches ever in Limitless.
I think too, because it's also like that was the first Vacation Lane Cup, right? The very first one.
Yeah.
So it was one of the very first Vacation Lane Cup matches. You know what I mean? So that's really special. And I mean, for me personally, like humble brag, I won. Whatever. But being able to share the ring with them, I think it's the only triple threat in Vacation Lane Cup wrestling history too, right?
I think you're right.
Like, I don't think there's ever been another triple threat situation in the opening round. So that's cool too. But like being able to share the ring with them and then represent all three of us, in the main event. I didn't win, but like, I don't know. I was in the finals of the first Vacation Lane Cup, and nobody can ever take that away from me. So,
wow. For you guys especially, what was it like being a part of the road when it came to Limitless Wrestling? You talk about it, Limitless was like the first of its kind, originally doing studio shows and everything, but then everything it did, especially in the independents, like Limitless stood out during that time.
We were lucky enough to have the venue and like the bubble that we did when the road came about, and just no one was doing anything, so we went for it because what else were we gonna do?
Yeah.
And it's so weird for me because like I was injured during most of the road like tapings.
Wow.
So like I basically was just on the sidelines and had to watch all my friends have a bunch of fun And it's one of those things that's bittersweet because like you want to just make sure that you're getting better, healing up. But it was always great just being able to watch everybody have something to do when there was nothing else to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole thing was kind of bittersweet because like it was so necessary to like keep the company afloat, and there was such a, like an uncertain time. We didn't know how long this was going to last. We didn't know what the future looked like for wrestling or live events in general, or even just life, you know, even
Yeah.
just living the world around us. Like it's such a weird time in the world. Um, and yeah, we're very thankful to have the space and like the opportunity to be able to do those tapings, and those were huge for us, but also like just kind of like depressing, like, you know what I mean? Like it really cannot be overstated how much we get from live crowds,
Yeah.
fans, rowdy energy.
Yeah.
And we did what we could with those, but it just never was the same. So like, yeah, it was fun. It was a great opportunity. And I look back on a lot of those matches fondly, and like those literally kept the company afloat. But as far as like performing wise, it was different. It was never the same. And it never felt quite as fulfilling as like being on a live real show, you know?
Yeah. And when you mentioned creativity, and especially during the pandemic, a lot of changes happened. For you, Maine State Posse accomplished so much. What was the thought process behind MSP originally? How far in the vault was that like an idea for to evolve on Maine State Posse and make it MSP?
That kind of felt like a necessity, but
Okay.
also the perfect time, you know? At that point, it was kind of just me and Aggro teaming, and we were hitting a stride right before COVID.
Yeah.
Like we had that Mania week coming up. We had a lot of bookings. Like we were really doing things. We were really catching some fire. And then the world shut down and everything stopped.
Yeah.
We had to delete all those dates in our books. We were kind of just like left with like, well, what the fuck, you know? And so we kind of realized that like if we were ever going to reinvent ourselves, now would be the perfect time to do it. And we didn't fully know what that was going to look like, and that evolved so much in just the road tapings, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I don't know. I think we just knew that like, you know, if coming out of the pandemic and everything, like we were going to need to really shake things up and like evolve, so to speak, kind of take things to that next level.
Yeah. How do you come up with MSP, like the vibe and all that you were doing? Because, like you said, Maine State Posse, you talk about the acts and everything you used to do. This is completely different.
I think we really wanted to maintain the core values of what Maine State Posse was, and that's why we never wanted to drop MSP. Um, but we also very much recognized that we were heading in a different direction, so we kind of figured where we could kind of meet in the middle. We could maintain who we were by also letting everybody know who we are now.
Yeah. And I think we also like you and I both were really coming into like our own queerness, you know what I mean? And like in the personal aspect of who we are as people, like that was a big part of it too. You know what I mean? Like we, you know, Main State Posse, flannels, beards, kind of manly-esque, you know what I mean? Um, and that just didn't really like feel so much like who we were anymore.
Yeah.
Especially me. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like we had this opportunity to kind of reset and go in a different direction. So if we're gonna do it, now would be the time, and I think it paid off.
Yeah. I think it's when you're MSP. Do you guys, I was talking to him the other day. You talking about what the match meant to him. Does anything stand out when it was MSP and Alexander Lee against the Prestigious?
I think that was the circle back moment.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, like we had been doing the vibe for however long at that point, and then we had the opportunity to get the band back together, so to speak. And it was nostalgic. It was fun, but at the time also bittersweet, you know, because I mean I believe that it was it that match where we did the kind of final flying of the colors, or what? Am I off base here?
I think so. I think that's what
Yeah.
even BRG said that was a reason
I
for
think
the
so,
match.
yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
It was it was a send off of that specific meaning of Maine State Posse, and that everybody else is moving on to their own truth and doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So when we got our vest
Also,
stolen.
also the same night we got our vests stolen.
Wow.
All three of them.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
left them all in the ring. I think we left them with Lee first, and we left them all in the ring, and somebody jacked them from ringside. We never saw those things again, unfortunately.
The
I'm still kinda mad about
the
it.
original Maine State Posse vests.
They're gone.
Yep.
All three of them.
Wow.
Mine was my grandfather's woodcutting vest they used as a lumberjack for decades. So that was a piece
It's
of
really
family
fucked
clothing.
up.
Was
Yeah.
somebody like was you left him in the ring? Was there like a main? I forgot. Was like main event or what happened? Were they doing the ring or like what happened?
No idea.
I wish I knew. We
Yeah,
never found
yeah,
them.
we were
Nobody
too far in the
knows.
moment to think about it. We never thought that somebody would gank our fucking stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
We've been back to the venue so many times over the years since then, and we have literally scoured that entire building just thinking like maybe they just got tossed in a corner or something, and like no, they're gone.
Wow.
It sucks,
Sure.
but it is what it is.
mhm.
When you talk about MSP and creativity, I'm curious for you, how was your experience with Rad Pro Wrestling? Because you talk about everything you guys got to do, but Rad Pro brought out a different creative element. No more MSP or Maine State Posse. I think it was the Dead Ringers for you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
You got it. You got it. And I mean that was definitely pretty much completely Big Scott.
Nice.
Max Smashmaster, whatever you want to call him these days. But he had a vision for us, and we had the opportunity to bring his vision to life. And we wanted to make sure that we did his vision justice. So as soon as as soon as he laid out exactly what he was looking for in us, we went out of our way to make sure that we got all custom like gear. We 120% leaned into it and just did the best we could to do justice for his vision, and I think it came off awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was on board pretty quickly because I'm a baseball freak, and he wanted me to wear a skirt, so I was like, hell yeah, dude, I'm in.
Wow.
So
When you talk about meaningful matches, what is the unsanctioned match between Aggro and at the time DangerKid? What does that match mean for you guys?
Oh God.
quite a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, it's first of all, it's the longest match either one of us have ever been in. It was like 45 minutes. It's crazy, ridiculous, probably too long. Granted, we weren't go the whole time. It was more methodical, story based, and just kind of brutal. A lot of that brutality that we learned from Lee. So even though he wasn't directly involved in that match, like that was his influence on us really like coming out, that chaos and just carnage. We learned a lot of that stuff from him. And then for me personally, it was very bittersweet, but I had to walk away. I had to get out of there. So I'm glad that I was able to do it in a meaningful way with Aggro. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of my favorite matches. I actually was just able to finally rewatch it recently for the first time. Finally getting to that point where I can like go back and rewatch old stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's one that I'll always hold near and dear to my heart.
Just to give you some, peel back the curtain a little bit. The original plan was that the match was going to finish my initial turn on Daphne. The match was supposed to finish, and Daphne was just supposed to kind of be like, I can't do it anymore, and I need to step away. And it was just kind of going to be me left holding the bag. And then kind of leading up to the final 1-2 weeks before the show, Daphne and I had a conversation, and we basically decided that like, let's go the route where I force you out and I am the bad guy, and let's see what we can do with it. And that is ultimately obviously what we ended up doing.
Yeah. How was the experience post this match? How did the partnership with you and Jay Haru and everything you got to do singles, talk about chaotic wrestling, Panoptic Champ, for you, how was it post MSP and everything you did?
It was different.
Yeah.
It was very nerve-wracking because you can imagine, the first 8 years of your career is just you and your partner, you know, and that's all you know. And then going into a singles role, it was extremely nerve wracking. Like I felt a massive lack of confidence in myself just because it was such uncharted territory for me,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of mental humps that I had to get over just to be comfortable in that role. And then, things just kind of every new thing that I did, it worked and I just kept going with it. And, even 2 years now, looking back on it, like, I don't think I would have done anything differently.
Nice. Yeah. So Daphne, I gotta ask you, talk about wrestling aggro. You knew that there was a point that you had to walk away from wrestling. Was the conversation always that you wanted to come back? And if so, how do you settle on Daphne Deville originally?
Um, I wanted to really make sure I left the door open.
Okay.
So the stip was Danger Kid leaves town. I knew I was never going to do Danger Kid again. That was very apparent in my mind with everything I had going on in my personal life and, my transition and everything. I knew that to be true. I never wanted it to be like, oh, I'm retiring or like I'm, done with wrestling forever. It was like Danger Kid, Limitless, no more. That was
Mhm.
it. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I didn't fully know. I always had a pretty good feeling I'd come back, but I really didn't know. And that first, especially like 6 months after that, I was so dead set on not coming back. About a year in, I started to miss it a little bit more. Year and a half, Hardy Boys coming to Limitless Wrestling, huge show, my childhood heroes, wrestling a team that if MSP had still been around, it would have been us.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't, and that's okay. But that was like, oh, I do miss this, and there's still a beautiful thing here waiting for me if I want it. Um, I still have a lot left to prove. Um, and I'm a new, better version of myself, a more, you know, evolved, evolved version of myself. And I want to see what I can bring to the table with where I'm at in my personal life. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you got to remember we're all people.
Yeah.
We're all human beings. You know what I mean? We may be these larger than life performers, but we are human beings driving the vessel, driving the performance. And I just, with knowing where I'm at now in my personal life, I'm like, you know what? I think I can do something special. I don't know what it's going to look like fully. I'm still kind of really feeling it out. Um, the Daphne Deville character really came together through a number of things: music, childhood icons, fashion. There's a lot of elements at play there.
Mhm.
And I do look forward to being able to explore that in a singles capacity at some point, even though right now MSP is teaming again and everything. But I think the future's bright and I'm super fucking excited. I've never been this stoked on wrestling before.
Wow. How was it this past week on Friday, Wrestling Starstruck? You talk about Anthony Green originally, aggro, the love you have, you call him dad and everything. How was it? Bissell Brothers, you added to your theme song, adding to everything. So how was it for you guys?
It's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
I think if we were going to come back as a tag team, doing it with Starstruck was probably the best possible team that we could have ended up against.
Hmm.
Just the history that we have with AG and Channing, and like, it's no secret that we're all good buddies outside of the ring, and we've spent a lot of time on the road together, and just we had this conversation ahead of the match on Friday that we all felt that it just was the best possible outcome, that it was the four of us against each other for our return. So it was good. It was awesome.
Wow. So I gotta ask you, whether it's singles or tag team, what does the future hold? Alexander Lee, I know right now you're not wrestling as much, but for you, what does the future hold for you?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure. There's just a couple of things I want to do, but not. Yeah, I don't know. Everything's kind of up in the air.
You got a lot left in the tank, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I know you do. I know you do. I mean, for all three of us, like what, April, is it April 24th?
24, you got it.
April 24th in Herman, Maine for Limitless Wrestling Fan Appreciation Night. I don't know what the match is. I'm not sure if it's been announced. I don't think it has, but I know that we're going to be there and we are going to be competing fully as a team. Maybe probably for the last time ever. I'm not really sure, but if not the last time, one of the very last times ever. It's going to be special. It's can't miss stuff. Whoever's across from us, God help you.
Wow.
I think we all
Oh.
I think we all have that never say never mindset.
Yeah.
And so we always approach every opportunity that we're all going to be back together, do it like it's our last time, go all out, be unapologetic. And if we have an opportunity another year down the road, 2 years, whatever, like we're always down.
Nice. Daphne, I gotta ask you, talk about you're having the most fun when it comes to wrestling now and everything. What are the goals for you? I know you said singles for you, but what else are you trying to do right now when it comes to wrestling?
Have fun.
Nice.
That's it. I've been saying lately that, like, so prefacing this with, like, of course I have dream opponents, companies, yada yada, places I'd love to be and people I'd love to work, but my biggest goal right now is to not have any goals. I want to have fun. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to make good matches. I want to make good professional wrestling, good art. I have a lot of things I want to do in that regard. Like I've got a lot of ideas brewing for our upcoming Warzone match in a couple months. Some ideas for the Herman show that we spoke of, so I don't know. I don't know. It's just a cool space to be in.
Yeah.
And there's like no pressure because before getting burnt out physically, mentally, putting all the pressure in the world on myself and us as a team and trying to stay busy, trying to have the date book completely filled up, trying to wrestle the most matches that we can within a year, trying to get signed, whatever. I don't give a shit about that anymore. And I think that's just kind of been huge for me.
Nice. Aggro, what about you? When MSP ended, you were still going singles. Now MSP is back doing some tag match for you. What does the future hold, do you think, for you?
I'm here to ride the tag wave until it's not there anymore. I mean, I have my own personal goals in Limitless specifically.
Nice.
I know that I want to be the Limitless World Champion, and I'll do whatever I have to do to get there. And doing tag stuff is fantastic, and I'm always going to be there for it. But I'm gonna get mine too. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. I gotta ask you before we end, what tag teams or maybe trios brought the best out of MSP, you'd say, or Maine State Posse? Because even for me going to some of these shows, so many teams you had bangers. I remember what Rasslin. For you, who brought the best out of you guys, you'd say?
I mean, I think the Logans are really high up on that list. Having the opportunity to share the ring with them as many times as we did, absolutely. I know
Johnny Silver and Jay Freddy, me and Ben wrestled them. That was awesome.
Nice.
That was a really solid match.
but
It crazy.
Comes back to Trigga and Christian or Mello now.
Yeah.
But the programs that we had with them really shaped who we were at that time. And without those, I don't think we would have done a lot of the things that we did back then. Geez, who else? I mean, the North, that was a really big one. They were the TNA tag champs at the time, so there was a lot of pressure going into that match.
We pinned them too.
And we pinned them.
That's crazy. I still don't know why the fuck that was allowed to happen, but it happened.
I mean, I would be remiss if I hadn't mentioned the Ugly Ducklings,
Big
like
one. That's a big
the
one.
Yeah.
Good
the
pull.
the trips that all three of us took down to Jersey to wrestle the Ducks, like some of the best times in our wrestling careers. But and I mean, we made friends for life in the Ducks too. So it's just one of those things. So many great things can come out of this business on a personal level, and I think the Ugly Ducklings is a massive testament to that.
Nice. Well, I can't thank you guys enough. I told you I was 12 years old when I met you. Now I'm 21, and the highlight of my week was the fact that I got to chat with you. However, every episode I've done has ended the same. So I'll start with you, Alexander Lee, because you came in the business first. When it comes to
Okay.
pro wrestling, it's all said and done. Obviously, retirements don't happen. What do you want Alexander Lee's legacy in pro wrestling to be?
I don't know if I'll have a legacy.
Oh, I think you do.
You will,
You already
buddy.
got
You
one.
will.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I've never really put a thought into it.
Think
To be
about it
honest.
right now.
Dog, if
Yeah.
there wasn't no you, there'd be no us. Put it that way, huh?
That's real, dude.
How about
That's
that?
so real.
That's a legitimate legacy for enough for me right there.
Wow. Daphne, what about you? What do you want? What's all said and done? What do you want your legacy to be?
I think the being a tag wrestler, tag and trios kind of aficionado is huge. Um, I am really big on the next wave. I kind of always have been. I've kind of always have been looking for younger talent. I love teaching. I love all that stuff. So, especially like working with other young tag teams and like giving feedback and stuff and like words of encouragement, all that stuff. So just kind of like the positivity that I can bring to the table in that aspect. Um, and then I think just like my general like intensity and being able to like get a crowd behind me in most situations. I feel like I've always kind of had a knack for that. So
Nice. And Aggro, what about you? Everything you have to do in pro wrestling, what do you want the legacy of Aggro to be?
So before I say that, I do want to throw out a couple honorable mentions in regards to tag teams, just
Yeah.
because it gets really you don't realize who you forget until after the fact. But I really want to make sure that I'm shouting out Workhorsemen, JD Drake, and Anthony Henry, like some of the best tag matches in our lives. Some of the people that we've learned the most from. Like
I saw the picture pop up the other day of Henry kissing you.
There you go.
And it made me smile. I forgot that happened.
There's not enough good things I can say about both of those individuals, and they're always going to be in my top 5 best tag teams that we've ever wrestled. But
sure.
that being said, I got to shout out Above the Rest, Violence is Forever. Even
Miracle Gen.
I can't forget.
Like as far as like young teams, like we got them when they were really young, and like we really saw something in them, and we had a ton of matches with them, and like I feel like obviously like those two are incredibly talented and put in a shit ton of work, but I feel like we had a small little smidgen in helping them get tag team wrestling and like kind of like start getting to that next level within tag team wrestling in general. So and Von Vertigo and Gabe. No. Gabriel
Freza, but regardless, like that was another team, and then one more. I mean, whatever iteration, because it was always a different tag team. But I mean, JT Dunn, like another one of our wrestling dads. But the legacy for Aiden Aggro, I guess, being a pillar of tag team wrestling in wrestling as a whole, showing people that come after us that it is possible to be a Maine wrestler and get the hell out of this state and be able to make something of yourself and have people take you seriously. I think that's going to be the biggest legacy of Aiden Aggro.
I think that's right there. Exactly what you just said is kind of the biggest thing that Lee taught us too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What's the legacy of Maine State Posse in general, you think?
The way wrestling should be.
Nice.
You're so good with that. That's such a good
Yeah.
answer.
Shut
I'm like
up.
trying to think of like a.
Well, I can't show my appreciation enough. I said it so many times. My dad texted me the other day. I don't even know if you guys remember this. Aggro and Daphne, you did an XWA show and you were telling me you guys weren't coming to the show. And like you texted my dad, like, oh, just letting you know, like, we're gonna be there to surprise or whatever. And like when you guys came out, like the smile on my face, I can't thank you guys enough for all you've done for me.
Hey, we have always been big, big, big on working people, even
Yeah.
on the inside. Like I didn't tell anybody I was leaving.
Wow.
I didn't tell like
Didn't tell
anybody I was
anybody you were
coming
coming
back.
back either.
I don't give a fuck, man. I'm gonna work everybody I can. Everybody. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Kayfabe's real, baby.
Wow.
Kayfabe's real.
But seriously, thank you so much for doing this. But thank you for all the memories for me and for everyone you've done in general. I appreciate you guys more than you know.
We appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much for having us on. This was awesome.
Like I said, when that video got posted and I seen all three of you, I legit had goosebumps when Heathens was playing. So the fact that we got to do this, once again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you all for doing this, and thank everybody for watching this episode. This was Best for Business.
Thank you for watching this episode of Best for Business. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, because this is Best for Business.